Right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Market Wrap with a SEBI-registered research analyst, Mr. Arjit Garg. Today, we saw Nifty almost flat throughout the day, and we closed at 24,231. To decode more about the market today, let's ask the expert Arjit himself. Arjit, thank you so much for joining us and giving your time.
Thank you so much for having me, and let's quickly delve into how did the market do today. So on my screen straight, we can see Nifty has closed with a huge gap of 1.63%, around 400 points rally at 24,200. Now this is a huge gap. Now the important thing to watch here is yesterday was a holiday. So something definitely happened, something cooked over the holiday, and that reaction is something that we saw today. Because when we closed on Monday, I believe Tuesday was the holiday. On Monday when we closed, we were very clear that something is off in the market. Something was negative, and even we were discussing that okay, bro, something might happen over the holiday period, and something might happen on the negative side because at that point of time all the cues were negative. Global market were negative. All of the OIs that we're seeing were indicating a negative. The sentiments were negative for the market. But on the weekend, on the holiday, something happened. What exactly happened? We'll dive into that. The global markets were all positive. If I just load up the chart of Nasdaq Composite, we can see that Nasdaq opened with a gap up in yesterday's session once again, and it has also closed with a gain of around 2%, around 23,000. If we see the S&P 500, which is denoted by the SPX ticker, we can see that has also closed with 2% gains in yesterday's session. Even our European markets were all positive. So this tells us that overall sentiments were positive for the market. अब हॉलीडे है, हॉलीडे पे आप अपना पोजीशन तो चेंज कर नहीं सकते. So what exactly happened is almost everybody was looking out for a negative movement in the market, but market opened with a gap up. What exactly happened when markets opened? The market was thrown into a tight range. So the day's high was approximately 24,280 and the day's low was 24,140, and this was the tight range जिसके अंदर the market kept trading for the entire day. We can dive into the intraday का time frame, which is 5 minutes, which is the best for intraday. We can see this is the exact tight range. मतलब there was literally no volumes in the day today throughout the day. Now, this can be positive and it can be interpreted as negative as well. First, let's delve into the positive part. The positive part in today's session was we saw gap up, but the day's low was not broken, which means market respected not even just the market but the participants in the market. They respected the tight range that the market was trading in, and people were respecting it कि भाई ठीक है, इतने दिन से negative था, इतने दिन से traders were living in a panic in a stressful situation. Let's not take them again into a stressful situation. They were respecting the range and the gap up that the market gave us today. This was the positive part. The negative part of this, the negative way to look at this is that the volumes were missing throughout the day. It's not that other sectors or stocks were not performing. If you look at the sectoral indices here, the sectoral heat map, everything is green. You see IT with gains of 2.8%, you have oil and gas with gains of 2.6%, consumer durable, the top gaining sector today with almost 3% gains. So sectors were doing good. You can see the heat map here. The stocks are also doing good, but broader market participation was missing today. So this can be taken as a negative sentiment for the day कि यार people are not interested in trading the markets. ना वो interested है market को नीचे ले जाने में, ना वो interested है market को ऊपर ले जाने में. They are happy with wherever the market is. And this can be a problem maybe in the upcoming trading sessions when the market would again go into panic mode given the entire global sentiment which is going on. If the market go in panic situation once again, the participation would still be missing. So the uncertainty part again comes back into the market with this movement. So there are two ways you can look at today's session, today's entire participation. There are two ways you can look at it, and we've discussed the both of the ways to decode the market here. Now, the important part to see here is what are the top sectors and the top stocks within those sectors that were performing in the market today. So we're seeing consumer durable was top performing, IT was top performing. If we see realty and oil and gas, they were also among the top performing sectors. To see which stocks were performing really good, let's dive into the stock heat map here. We can see Reliance was top gaining. TCS once again, despite negative news, TCS was doing very well today. Autos, mein we saw Maruti and Titan doing well. Also, NTPC and Power Grid. Power Grid was among the top gaining sector on top gaining stock on the index today. If we look at the individual uh, stock for Nifty, yeah. Okay, the image is not very clear, but we can see here Indigo, Power Grid, Eternal, and Max Health. These were the top four sectors on the index today. And surprisingly, Power Grid was also among one of our recommendations in the day today. So again, this is a hint that you should follow the SEBI expert on CBI's advisors to be able to make informed investment decisions. Now, talking about what was the market today, वो हमने देख लिया. Now let's look at what are the ways or what are the future predictions that we can make for the market. How will the market do tomorrow or in the upcoming sessions? For that, firstly, we'll look at the pattern that Nifty has been forming on the hourly time frame. So here, the tool that we're using here is TradingView. TradingView पे you can just load all the charts for free. Now, what I want you to guys to focus on here is this is the 1 hour time frame. And from the past five trading sessions, the market has been in a tight range of gap up, then it would go in a range, gap down, it would go in a range, and then again gap up, it would go in a range. There are a lot of gaps that are being created in the market, and the market is not able to fill out those gaps. For example, there is this gap up over here. Right before this gap up, we had right before this consolidation, we already had a huge gap over here. That was the first gap up that we saw, right? Apart from that, again the next day markets went down. There was a gap once again over here. Market again consolidated. Again a gap down over here, which was our Monday session. It was a gap down session. Gap down again, it was a range bound trade, and once again today we are seeing a gap. Now, so many gaps in the market trading session within 1 week. This is not normal and this is not healthy either. Gap hona, sometimes if you have a gap, that is a different story. Sometimes if you see a gap, that gap might get covered. Maybe there would some rally or some movement that would cover that gap. But when there are multiple gaps in the market, that is when trading becomes even more riskier, right? So point number one here is that the market is right now at a very risky point. We might see a gap down to cover the previous gap so that the market, if the market would come down, if there are more candles, there are more price action in this range, gap would be covered. Or the other way to look at it, if the market stays positive and अगर market यहाँ से और ऊपर जाता है, it breaks our level 24,300 and tries to reach 25,000 once again that won't be a straight rally, right? It won't be the market has opened flat and then it is rallying up. Why? Because there's no market participation. People are not interested in trading the markets right now, trading the index right now, driving it up or down. They're just not interested in it. They respect wherever the market opens. तो अगर मार्केट यहाँ से ऊपर जाएगा, if you are in a bullish view for this market right now, the markets would give you a slight gap up and then they would rally upwards toward 25,000. Or the market would go gap down, cover the previous gaps, and then you would see a downfall maybe until 23,850 or maybe 23,500. Right? So this is one way to look at it. If you just look at the technicals. Now let's look at option chain and let's look at the open interest data to analyze which way would the market go. Now here, if you look at the option chain data here, the current strike, which is 24,200, here we are seeing that put OI and call OI, दोनों के open interest are almost same. So the PCR, put call ratio, comes down to 1 because जितने call OI है, जितने put OI है, it's almost the same number. That is why it is 1.001. Now from our previous sessions, we already know if the PCR is near zero point 0.5, that means you have to start buying, the markets would go up. If it is near 1.5, the markets would start going down. It's in the overbought zone, the market would start coming down. Right now, we are exactly in the middle at this particular strike price, 1.01. ना ये 0.5 के पास है ना ये 1.5 के पास है. It is exactly in the middle. So for better data, we'll look at other strike prices. If we look at 24 to 50, just one strike price above the current one, we are looking at a PCR of 0.6. At 24,300, the PCR is 0.43. And as you go higher, the PCR drops, keeps on dropping, and it goes below 0.5. This means the current level is a make or break level. 24,200 is the level जहां से या तो मार्केट नीचे जाएगा. अगर नीचे जाएगा तो लेट्स लुक एट द अदर स्ट्राइक प्राइस एज वेल. लेट्स लुक एट 24,150, 100 and 24,000 as well. 24 150 1.88 PCR, below that 1.6, below that 3.14, and then as you keep going down you have all the PCRs on the overbought zone 4.1, and we have 10 PCR value of 10. So मतलब अगर यहाँ से मार्केट नीचे गिरता है, suppose if the market goes down from here, you would keep seeing the prices falling further down. And if the market goes up, you would see the prices rising over a period of time in that particular trading session. So right now, this is a make or break zone. Now, another reason why we are in the middle right now, even technically, if you look at it, what we just saw is कि यार मार्केट यहाँ से पता नहीं कहाँ जाएगा. अगर ऊपर गया तो ऊपर सीधे सीधे भाग जाएगा ऊपर, नीचे जाएगा तो प्रीवियस गैप कवर करेगा and it will come down to our level of 23,500. So we are exactly in the middle technically as well. Why are we technically in the middle right now? Let's quickly understand that. There are not a lot of points or reasons to why we are in the middle right now. The only reason is we do not have any new triggers in the market right now. See, over a period of last 1 month, since March 2nd, the markets have been moving based on whatever is happening around the globe. ग्लोबली यूएस अटैक कर रहा है, इजराइल अटैक कर रहा है, ईरान अटैक कर रहा है, ईरान ने मिडिल ईस्टर्न कंट्रीज को अटैक कर दिया. इतने न्यूज आ रहे थे दैट द मार्केट वाज it was an entertaining session for the market as well, not just for the investors like us. Even market was enjoying it. Okay, आज मिडिल ईस्ट में से दुबई में अटैक कर दिया, वाओ लेट्स फॉल. अरे दुबई हैज रिटेलिएटेड, ओके दिस इज वेरी पॉजिटिव, लेट्स राइज. So this kind of movement is now coming to an end because no new such news is not coming now. जितना भी होना था that is now market is also like okay भाई ये war है, it will keep going on. We don't have to keep tracking this war 24/7 anymore, right? So market is now also habitual of the war related news that is coming up, and there is no major trigger for this war or for anything that would drive the market to either of the directions. So what we have to look out for upcoming sessions is the crude movement. This is something that we discuss almost in every session. Which way is the crude going? What should we look at? Now, an important thing to watch here, on Monday, we had marked this trend line and we had seen the double top pattern on crude MCX futures. We had marked an important level of 9456 and we had a very strong conviction around it कि अगर market इसके नीचे गया, then the fresh downfall in crude is coming. And that is exactly what happened. Even on the same day, crude क्या चलता है? See, commodities they have two sessions. एक सेशन होता है मॉर्निंग 9 to 3 एंड द अदर सेशन इज 5 to 11. 9 to 3 का सेशन हुआ, उसके बाद वी हैड सीन दैट भाई क्रूड में भी हमने मार्क कर लिया इंपॉर्टेंट लेवल एंड वी वर लाइक यहाँ से नीचे जाएगा तो इट इज डेंजरस. And within the same day in the evening session, markets broke the 9456 level and we currently are sitting at 8676, which is roughly 1000 points down from the level that we had marked. Right? So this again, there's nothing to prove in this, but it's just like how accurate the analysis is that we do here in the market wrap up session. Now, what we have to watch here for to be able to guess where our market might go in the next trading session, if crude weakens further, maybe if it falls below 8433 or maybe below 8,000 rupees ka price point, that is when you can see a fresh rally in Nifty. Right? If you look at Brent crude as well, right here we'll see a similar pattern in Brent crude as well. Crude oil mein we had seen this pattern just now, that the markets were falling and we were seeing downfall continuous, lower low lower high pattern in crude oil MCX futures. Same thing in Brent crude as well. To add on this, if we just add the USD INR pair here, we are seeing that USD INR pair is also somewhere around 93 rupees, which is it's not very high. ऐसा नहीं है कि रुपये एकदम weak हो गया है, but ऐसा भी नहीं that rupee is very strong. If you pair USD INR movement with Brent crude movement, this is when you will actually understand which way will the markets go. So what we have to look out for in the next trading session, look out where Brent crude goes, look out where MCX crude goes, and look out how your USD INR pair is performing. If it is becoming stronger, if crude is falling, be ready for a fresh rally in our Indian indices. And of course, global markets are very important. We have to keep tracking the global markets here as well. Right now, all of our European friends are in a mixed rally. The UK is not sure which direction to go. Germany is not sure which direction to go. Both of them are flat. But France is down almost half a percent, 0.4% down. France is down. US futures are again, they are also flat. Asian peers were positive today, which gave us a positive rally. So what we have to look out for is crude, our USD INR pair, and the global markets. Which direction do they go? Represent.
Got it. So actually, I have one doubt. So since we have almost finished 15 days of this month, can we look at the FII and DII tug of war? What is happening in past 15 days? Of course, today's data is still not available, but what has happened in the past 15 days?
So I readily do not have that data available right now, but for the next upcoming sessions, we can definitely start talking about which how the FIs and DIs are performing. But for now, let's quickly look at the FI data which was available for yesterday's market from the NSE's
Right.
website. So I believe in yesterday's session, FIs had sold around 1,244 crores and DIs were constantly buying. Now, if you look at other news sources like CNBC, and there are a lot of money control and other news sources which keep tracking all of the institutional movements, you'd notice that DIIs throughout the month of March, they have invested more than 55,000 crores in our market. Already 40,000 crore का तो news आया था that SIP inflows are at
SIP,
40,000
yes.
crore, which is the highest, right? But DIs are constantly, not just mutual funds. We have insurance houses, we have other mutual funds, other HNIs that also come under institutions. All of them, they are continuously pumping money in the Indian market while FIs are constantly selling. So far, I believe in the financial year, not in the financial year, in the calendar year of 2026, from January to April, right now in just 4 months, I believe FIs have pulled out over 1 lakh crores in just 4 months. इतना तो मतलब उन्होंने लगाया नहीं था जितना they have already pulled out of the market. While DIIs, they are constantly putting money in. So this is a clear indication that our domestic institutions and our retail participation in the market is so strong that despite FIs pulling out of the market, we are still giving gap ups and constant rallies coming in the market, which again it denotes the domestic strength of our investors in the Indian market.
Perfect, perfect. I think that was a good wrap. Arjit, did we miss on any point?
I don't think so. We have missed out on any points. There's just one thing. Some of the top stocks that I believe investors should watch. And again, we can do a wrap up of previous stocks that we have discussed. So, Wipro was already loaded here. We talked about Wipro in our previous session. We can see both the targets are hit here after today's massive rally. Previous target was already hit on 8th of April. And now today we have seen the second target hit as well. M&M was again one of the stocks that we discussed in the previous session. All the targets hit there as well. We can look at Grow as well. Grow mein to second target was hit already. And finally, we had Sirma SGS. Again, another good IT stock. Both the targets hit there as well. Now, which stock should you actually watch for the upcoming sessions? One stock, which again has been constantly recommended by me, not just on Zdvisors, but on our market wrap up sessions as well. Angel One is a stock which I really find like the rally. Just look at the rally which Angel One is currently in. Since from 7th of April, we've seen a gap up. I think 8th of April was the first gap up we saw. Right from 8th of April, we are seeing a constant rally in Angel One. It looks like it was a breakout rally, and the rally is just it's not ready to end. The rally is continuing even now. Even if we see the RSI, if we load it here on trading view, we can see Angel One, and let's look at its RSI. Yeah, the RSI is above 80, and still Angel One is continuously rallying. So this signals strength. RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. So if the RSI is above 80, it indicates that okay, the stock is an overbought zone, but it's doing very well in comparison to its other relative stocks in that particular sector or that industry. So Angel One is doing very well in the capital markets sector, and I believe it will keep on rallying up till 320 and 325. Just one disclaimer that this stock has been constantly recommended by me. It might be there in one of our clients' portfolios. Personal portfolio में नहीं है, but it might be in our client's portfolio. It has been in our recommendation multiple times. So that's one disclaimer that I had to give while discussing the stock.
Perfect, perfect. So that was great. Let's connect tomorrow exactly at 4 p.m. and decode the market once again. Thank you so much, Arjit, for joining. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you everyone for joining this session.